Hello, I'm Chris White with the American Battlefield Trust, and I'm the Deputy Director of Education, and I'm out on the Wilderness Battlefield here in Central Virginia. It's a place that I have grown to love. I used to work here as a National Park Service Ranger, and it is one of those great iconic battlefields of the American Civil War. Three major campaigns came through this area that we know as the Wilderness: the Chancellorsville Campaign in May of 1863, the Mine Run Campaign in November and December of 1863, and then, of course, the Overland Campaign of 1864, which pits Ulysses S. Grant versus Robert E. Lee for the first time. And that took place in May of 1864 and initiated the bloodiest campaign of the American Civil War and the bloodiest campaign between the Civil War and World War I in the Meuse-Argonne. Unfortunately, I'm not out here to talk about the battle history today. In fact, we're out here for a press conference that is shining light on a new development called Wilderness Crossing that is being developed or potentially developed off of my right shoulder. This development would bring in data centers, it would bring in mixed-use properties such as residential homes and businesses, and of course this means we would have to reroute a major roadway known as Route 20, the Orange Turnpike, which leads you out towards Orange Courthouse, and part of that is a historic road that runs right through the heart of the Wilderness Battlefield that raged from May 5th to May 6th of 1864. The Wilderness is not the only battlefield under threat today. If you head up to Boston, into the Boston area, we have Minuteman National Historical Park that is also under threat. There's an airport expansion that is going to include at least 11 large hangars that will be expanded out into the direction of that battlefield park, as well as increased air traffic, which will increase the noise pollution of a very beautiful area, as well as a very historic site in American history. So what we're going to do is show you some highlights of an event that we held here in the Wilderness that will highlight the potential dangers of the development that could take place here, changing the battlefield's landscape forevermore.
And I'm here today joining you to announce that the Wilderness Battlefield area has been named to the National Trust 2024 list of America's 11 most endangered historic places. As proposed, the Wilderness Crossing development could include millions of square feet of data centers, distribution warehouses, commercial space, thousands of homes, and road construction on previously undeveloped land where soldiers fought and died. Nearly 500,000 visitors come here annually for quiet reflection on a difficult chapter in American and Civil War history.
But the heart of the issue today is last April's rezoning of the 2,600 acres for the upcoming Wilderness Crossing development. This is by far the largest land development project ever made here in Orange County. As you can see from the maps around me on display, it will have a massive impact on historic resources here in the area and a massive impact on the gateway to the wilderness unit of the Fredericksburg and Spotsylvania National Military Park. And it isn't just the size and the scope of this massive development that are problematic. The impact across the historic landscape of noise pollution from industrial areas. It didn't take into account the large number of people that will move to live into that development or the massive amount of water usage that will take place in order to support it. And it is the county, not the developer as usual, that will be hung with much of these costs. The developer is not going to provide water, sewage, emergency services, or schools for all these new residents. You will. They did not even offer, as usual with a development of this size, to build, say, a new elementary school to support all of these new residents. You will. So, because of a host of substantive issues in the approval process and basic problems with infringing on the National Military Park, the American Battlefield Trust, along with partners such as the Central Virginia Battlefield Trust and Friends of the Wilderness Battlefield and local landowners, have filed a lawsuit against Orange County and the associated developers. We ask for your support.
Those who have fought and fallen here on the ground we stand on today would have anticipated their sacrifice and their suffering to be recognized, honored, and respected. The best way to do this is to save the very ground that they consecrated.
As National Park advocates, we are deeply concerned that Wilderness Battlefield has, as you've heard, once again been named as one of America's 11 most endangered sites. The threats faced by Wilderness Battlefield are emblematic of a crisis unfolding across Virginia in the Mid-Atlantic region. I have said, and will continue to say, that the explosion of an unregulated and unchecked data center development industry in the state of Virginia and across the Mid-Atlantic region poses the biggest threat to historic sites and national parks that the region has ever seen. Without comprehensive action from our elected leaders, countless historic sites and national parks may continue to fall victim to this unchecked and unregulated data center growth, and we are proud to stand alongside our partners to bring that change forward.
The threat of wilderness crossing ripples region-wide and across Virginia, and now across the nation. It's likely to draw the largest increase in electrical generation in our history, doubling and tripling the size of the infrastructure that's built across our landscapes. You know about North Anna Nuclear Power Plant down the road? That's a baseload supply for Virginia. There are two of them in the state. And it's 1.8 gigawatts if all its generation capacity is being utilized. So imagine 10 million square feet of data centers just over here. It will bring additional transmission lines and, by necessity, additional generation on the scale of one or more nuclear power plants. If you did it as renewable energy, which is an admirable goal, it's in the tens of thousands of acres of solar.
Today's announcement should be a rallying cry, not just for the groups gathered or for you all here today, but for local and state decision makers, industry experts, and others to resolve these threats and protect these vital historic and cultural places.
Hello, this is Trace Atkins. To stay up to date on all the latest and coolest videos, please subscribe to the Trust's YouTube channel. Preserve, educate, inspire.